Your physique looks something similar to the images you can see on screen. I'm going to show you what can be achieved within a 12-week time span. Obviously, if you're not quite as lean as the guys on screen yet, it will give you a marker to aim for when you do get down there. This is how these three guys looked just 12 weeks later. In this video, I'm going to show you how we achieve that so you can have our formula and apply it to your own training. So, as soon as we start, we break the transformation down into two phases. Phase one, we call it more of a priming phase. Phase two, more of an aggressive fat loss phase. So as soon as they start within phase one, the very first thing we will address before we address nutrition, training, cardio steps, the full 9 yards, is we will address their mindset first. A lot of you are trying to make change, but you're still acting with the way you currently are. And the way you currently are has got you to look the way you currently look. So we must fix that. We must change your mindset to now see yourself as an athlete. A lot of you don't believe you can get abs. So when you try to step forward on a plan, you've always got this constant pull to come back to what you know. We're now going to give you a new character to form into so you can then follow the steps and live in accordance with how that individual would live, and then get the result in which he would get. Be the man first, get the result second. Try to get the result as the man you already are, and you will last 2 to 3 weeks like you always have, and then drop back to how you've always currently been. So we must fix that first. We do this by creating the athlete lifestyle through the document that's inside our community. They'll come through, watch that, create who they need to be, map out the characteristics, map out the schedule, and then start to execute on that each and every day. Of course, in the beginning, you're always still going to have that series of doubt. That's why we still check in on them on a weekly basis and make sure that they are living in accordance with that, ticking off the daily non-negotiables. One of the main things you just need to improve about yourself is your own integrity. If you say you're going to do something, you get it done. You don't let things fall. You hit everything as per the schedule, and then that way you can become that individual. So we set the foundations right first, set the mindset right first, and give you the actual hope and belief that you can actually do this, because if it's been done by another man, it can absolutely be done by you. Then we'll go into more of the tactics of this. What we don't like to do is go too low on food too early, because in this very initial phase, and you could see from the results on screen, a lot of them actually look fuller and bigger as they finish the end of the 12 weeks. And the reason for this is we focus and dial in on training. A lot of you will think to get shredded, you just need diet, and you're not inherently wrong in saying that. But if you just focus on the diet and don't train properly, I tell you right now, you will not look how you want to look. The best results we've delivered are the guys that trained like an absolute savage. How do we monitor this? They'll send us their training clips. We'll review, obviously, the arm path, the tempo, the speed of the repetition, the range of motion, and most importantly, the intensity. The reason why we don't take your food too low is you need something, you need some substance inside you so you can actually give us intensity in the gym. And through a series of 6 weeks, which doesn't sound that long, but actually that's a fair few sessions you're going to be doing across that time frame, is going to allow you to build and at least set the solid foundations of gaining muscle. People think as soon as you go into a cut, instantly you're going to lose muscle. That's not the case. You can still go in the gym and move a solid amount of weight, even in a calorie deficit. If you time your nutrition correctly, sleep correctly, hydrate correctly, you will still be able to make progress all the way into the back end of the transformation. And especially for people like you, because it's all right in saying that if you're like a very seasoned bodybuilder that's done a series of gaining phases and dieting phases, sure, he might lose a couple of kilograms on his flat press right in the depths of his cut. Fair enough. But that's not most people. Most people have not trained consistently or for long enough to actually even be anywhere close to that. So realistically for you, you will actually get stronger all the way through this series of transformation. And anytime you feel like you're not, realistically, it's either poor nutrition timing or it's just your own mindset using that as an excuse. There's no excuse for that. You should always be getting stronger, because what we'll measure getting stronger by is, what did you do last time? Did you improve on it by either reps or load, or even the execution and the time spent doing it? If yes, then you've gone up in weight. Therefore, you're still making progress. Therefore, you're not physically losing muscle, because fresh air isn't producing that extra force. When it comes to setting up the meal plan, we like to pull just below maintenance, around 200 calories, as we said, so it gives you a solid amount of food to eat. When you're setting out your macros, Make sure for someone like you starting in this position, the rule of 1 gram per pound of body weight of protein actually will work. For most people that are heavier than that, go off your height in centimeters because you've got too much body fat for the scale weight to need protein. We actually take it and go 2.4 from your lean mass, and that gives us your target. Set your fats to 20% of the target, and the rest is going to be filled with carbohydrates. I've done many videos on what exactly to eat, so I will save that for another day. We also get you moving. A lot of you are fairly sedentary people who have not even utilized cardio. So 20 minutes a day, and we'll leave it on that as the baseline for those 6 weeks. It's just going to create your body's demand and need for burning calories. And also it will improve heart health. We don't do anything too taxing. We don't do anything that's going to accumulate too much fatigue. So we're talking inside the gym, CV machines. Save the Stairmaster for a bit later on because your heart rate will go quite high. On this, we just want 120 to 130 heart rate and stick at that. Aside to that, you're going to make sure you do your steps. And then, of course, you're going to make sure you get enough sleep. All this you actually factored into your life when you scheduled out that athlete that you're going to become. You can see now how athlete is not a person, an athlete is a lifestyle, because I could give you 2 guys on screen and we could watch like a day in the life of them, but if I blurred them both out, you couldn't exactly see how they looked, but you could understand the outline of, right, cool, he's getting up and he's hydrating, oh cool, now he's out walking, now he's in the gym, oh, we can see what food he's prepping. You'd be like, oh cool, there's 2 athletes, I'm watching the same person twice over. But if I pull back the curtain, one of them's 30% body fat and one of them's 8, you'd be like, oh no, he's the athlete, he's not. But that's not the case, because they're both living like an athlete. And a lot of you think you need to look like one first before you can act like one. It's not the case. If you schedule out your routine to live like one, then as a cause and effect of living like this, you will get the look. And this is what we drill into guys in the very initial phases. So that's what we do in the very first phase. Now you will drop off a couple of kilograms in scale weight just from being in a little bit of a deficit. But the priority is priming your body for fat loss. And we primed it by not taking calories too low, burning through output, and creating good quality training, which will also create a demand for calories. That will last a series of around 4 to 6 weeks. It depends on your starting point. If you're close towards 20%, more likely that's going to be 4. If you're closer towards 17, 16%, more like 6. Also, depends how much muscle you're originally starting with. If you're starting with very little, I may drag this phase on for a little bit longer for you, because this is the art of body recomp here. We actually do want to still develop some muscle, not just pull off body fat. If you're starting leaner with more muscle, then that phase doesn't need to last as long. We can go into what would be phase 2, which is more of the aggressive fat loss phase. Here we're measuring to make sure we pull off 1 kilogram per week. Obviously it depends on the size of you. If you're about 60 kilos, then 1% is going to be the target. If you're more closer, like in the 70s, 80s, 90s, then we're going to attack for 1 kilogram per week. Now, when we do this, we'll ideally push cardio first for the same principles that we spoke about in phase 1. If we can keep food high, we can keep training high. If we can keep training high, you're going to look better towards the end. So we'll drive through output first. Take that from 20 minutes to 30 minutes daily. When you start to not see a drop off again, take it from 30 to 40 minutes daily. When you get to 40, you may want to question, do I want to push to 50 now, or do I want to instead pull from food? Because what you're battling with is your routine. If you're going to a 50 and it's just an extra 10 minutes, obviously stacked up across the week, it'll still be 70 minutes extra. Would it be more efficient for you now to then pull your food down 200 calories? I would actually say, because this is coming in quite hard, fast and aggressive, just to pull from fats and keep your carbs as high as you can. It's going to keep your muscle fuller and it's going to keep your performance more efficient because you need the carbs to train. So from there, I'd be looking to pull down 200 calories of fats. You'll see a solid drop off at that point. Rinse that out until it stops working. So keep repeating the process of either looking at cardio or food, adding 10 minutes, taking away 200 calories until you get down to the lean level of having visible, clean-cut abs. And it really is, people will overcomplicate fitness online. Honestly, it really is that simple. There may be times where, and the only thing that would complicate this from what I've seen is life getting in the way. You may have a meal that you need to attend to, so you're going to need to factor that in to the calories. You're going to think, right, well, if I eat out, I need to stick to protein and veggies because everything else is going to be doused in oils and butters. I'm going to make sure I bank a little bit of food, knowing that I'm going to eat out. Might shave 100 calories off each day to make some room for that. You may also need to get used to saying no for this period of time. Like ideally surround yourself with people that are into fitness rather than people that are into just consuming calories on the weekend. Otherwise it's not going to have you aligned with the goal that you need to. A lot of you just don't make your life easy when you're trying to do a transformation. You'll be trying to eat out every weekend. You'll be trying to take this girl out for drinks. You'll be trying to go for food with your mates, and it's just not going to work. Like, you only need to do this for 12 weeks from the starting point that we spoke about in this video. Like, for the love of God, just for 12 weeks, look after you for once in your life instead of trying to please other people, and just align your schedule to getting down towards this goal. Because it's not complicated, but you will complicate it when you're trying to get there. You'll come up with some random reason as to why you need to change the plan, and it won't work for you. This is one of the only real battles I find going through with members in the Gorilla Platoon. It's just simply keeping them on the straight line, following exactly this plan, saying no to things that are going to come in and veer onto the plan, and then that way you'll get towards the goal. I've seen guys literally drop 18 kilos in 18 weeks, because they just dialed in. They didn't let anything else crop in the way, and they dropped off the weight. I've also seen people that only needed to drop 7 kilos, take them 14 weeks, because they were the polar opposite. Your ability to look after yourself and have your own self-respect is how you will actually get to the goal. People won't speak about this online. People won't tell you the tricks of this. People are trying to tell you need 1 gram per pound of body weight of protein. That's honestly not going to help you. It's needed, it's a tactic, sure, but that's not actually going to get you the result. What's going to get you the result is what I spoke about right at the very beginning. It's fixing your mindset. You need to have more integrity with yourself, so you respect yourself more, so you say no to other people, so you can actually stick to and execute the plan for long enough. The only reason you're not in shape is because you've not been able to stick to a plan for long enough. The moment you start to respect yourself first, then you will actually stick to it, because you'll be like, no, this is for me, I value me more than anyone else, so I'm going to make sure I get this done. Honestly, if you only take one thing away from that video, make sure it's that, and make sure you write it down. But that's the long and short of how and what can be achieved within a 12-week time frame. Obviously, if you want us to come and do this for you, there'll be a link in the description, and I'll see you on the inside. Thanks for watching as always, and I'll see you tomorrow.